The United States Ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman, recently proclaimed that the August 2022 general election marked the most credible in the nation's history. While inaugurating the Devolution Conference in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, Ms. Whitman underscored that these elections affirmed Kenya's prominence as a leading democratic entity in the continent. To substantiate her assertion, she pointed to the consensus among local and international observers regarding the election outcomes. She also highlighted the unequivocal declaration by the Kenyan Supreme Court affirming President William Ruto's legitimate status as the head of state.
Having arrived in Kenya shortly before the August 2022 general election, Ms. Whitman characterized the event as truly extraordinary. She asserted that analysts and commentators widely regarded it as the most open, equitable, and credible election in Kenyan history. In her view, international and local organizations meticulously monitored the electoral process, and the subsequent endorsement by the Kenyan Supreme Court facilitated a seamless and orderly transfer of power.
Nevertheless, the ambassador's remarks ignited a contentious debate within the Azimio One Kenya alliance. Opposition leader Raila Odinga and senators affiliated with the Azimio political faction censured Ms. Whitman's involvement in Kenyan affairs. During his keynote address at the Devolution Conference, Odinga expressed his divergence by advising the ambassador to refrain from interfering in Kenyan matters.
Former presidential aspirant Reuben Kigame also voiced his opinion on the ambassador's statements. Through his Twitter account, he contested the prevailing notion that Kenya's August 2022 elections were entirely devoid of flaws. Kigame's tweet challenged the assumption of unblemished elections and called for a recognition of the truth, emphasizing that his perspective extended beyond Azimio 2022's outcome.
It is crucial to acknowledge Kenyans' tendency to magnify relatively minor concerns while understating more substantial challenges. The opinions of Americans regarding Kenyan elections, in comparison, pale against the backdrop of pressing issues the nation grapples with, such as high living costs, unemployment, terrorism, crime, social instability, and mental health concerns.
In a broader context, democracy presents a multifaceted and intricate concept that varies subjectively. Democracy is a complex and challenging concept in nature that varies subjectively, and it has its flaws even within the United States' own democratic system, such as the Electoral College, voter participation, campaign financing, gerrymandering, third-party representation, media influence, disinformation, and voter suppression.
It is imperative to recognize that the United States' pursuit of democracy globally does not hinge on attaining a flawless model. Rather, the US practices a form of representative democracy through its presidential elections, which has evolved over time, incorporating features like the Electoral College.
Consequently, it is incumbent upon us to advocate for concentrating efforts on reinforcing institutions and addressing imminent challenges, without becoming ensnared by the notion of an unattainable perfect democracy. Africa must understand that Western viewpoints on elections should not overshadow critical issues confronting the nation, such as unemployment, terrorism, and social concerns. By affording institutions the capacity to address disputes and demonstrating respect for their decisions, Kenya can competently address these challenges, formulate pragmatic solutions, and stimulate growth and stability.
In conclusion, it is my belief that the quest for an illusory perfect democracy redirects focus from pivotal matters. We must prioritize fortifying institutions and pragmatic solutions for challenges like unemployment, poverty, and education. Encouraging the defense of institutional decisions and engaging in constructive dialogue to address societal predicaments takes precedence over fixating on elusive ideals.